Hello everyone and welcome back to this brand new video. Now for today I have a Mazes End deck ready for all of you. Now I want to get one thing out of the way. This is not a gates deck, meaning that yes, I am playing all of the guild gates and and one gateway plaza to win with Mazes End, but this deck is mainly a lands deck centered around Field of the Dead. Now I'm not playing Guild Summit and I'm not playing Gatebreaker Ram. If you want me to build something mainly around gates, if you want to enjoy playing just gates, make sure to join my Discord server, talk to me, and I'll be more than happy to brew up something quickly for you around gates. Now, what is this deck trying to do? It's trying to get to Mazes End or Field of the Dead quickly, and I'll show you exactly how we are going to do that. Arboreal Grazer is good because it helps us ramp a bit and it helps us block any aggro decks, which is good because Gruul is running wild in the meta currently. While I was testing, I ran into a bunch of Gruul matchups and Grazer was so good against them. Fey of Wishes gives us access to a bunch of cards from the sideboard. I'll give you a random of them at the end. Growth Spiral is good because it cantrips, it helps us ramp. Elvish Rejuvenator is good because it helps us accelerate into our land strategies. Route is good because obviously it ramps us and gives us gates for our future Mazes End turn. Scapeshift is good because we can either go with the gates plan if we have enough gates on the field, and then we can just win with Mazes End. If we don't have enough lands but we have maybe, let's say, a bunch of Fields of the Dead that can be active, we can just go for that and win that way. Kenrith is super good because one, we have access to all 5 colors, meaning that Kenrith is going to do a lot of things. There's a lot of games where I played Kenrith and then reanimated Golos with it. It's not impossible. The other reason is all of our creatures become way better with Kenrith, meaning we can play Hydroid krasis, let's say for 10, give it haste with Kenrith, attack, that's 10 damage out of nowhere. And Kenrith is also good because it makes any of our land cards good. Imagine I have Scapeshift, I play Scapeshift. I think we get to do that in one of the games I'm going to show. So we play Scapeshift with a Kenrith on the field. We search for a bunch of lands. We give our tokens haste. We attack. That wins the game on the spot. Now we don't have to wait a full turn and maybe get board wiped. That's why Kenrith is a super good card in this deck. Escape to the Wilds kind of turbos out our plan and gets us an additional land per turn and gives us a lot of card advantage, especially against control deck or maybe Luca decks. And it helps us reach our Mazes End plan faster. I'm only playing 2 Golos because I think it should be enough with the 2 Scapeshifts. Golos is good because it can accelerate either our Field of the Dead plan or our Mazes End plan, and untapping with Golos because we have access to all 5 colors is good. This is an insane card. Krasis is good because it gets us into a bunch of card advantage. It's a payoff for us having that much mana. For the land base, don't worry about it. The deck is going to be in the description down below, so don't need to read all of that. I will provide you with all of this, don't worry. So for our sideboard, Mystic Repeal is here to play against any Reclamation deck, any Fires deck. Gravedigger's Cage is here against Winota and against Luca decks because it stops them from getting things from the library. Or you can just play it against maybe a Sacrifice deck, anything revolved around the Cat Oven combo. Aether Gust is good against maybe also Nexus and against Fires and also against aggro matchups. Stroke is also for the matchups I previously mentioned, negate the same thing. Gate Ablaze is the only gate payoff I'm playing, and it's super good to have as a board wipe in the sideboard. Ashiok is here to stop the mirror match because Ashiok stops people from searching the library, and it's also here to stop any potential graveyard shenanigans. Once and Future is good because you can search for it using the Fey of Wishes, play the Fey of Wishes, jump block with it, and then once in future the turn after get it back, repeat this loop. Banefire is a good card to have because sometimes you just can't win against control, and then you can just search for it using Fey of Wishes. If they don't play around that, we just then Banefire their face for lethal. I've done that many times while testing, so don't forget about Banefire in this format. Expansion Explosion is also another way for us to win the game, and sometimes it can punish our opponent for tapping out, because we can always just search for it and then Expansion Explosion for a big number. And also Expansion, don't forget about the Expansion part of this deck, because while I was testing, a lot of people kept on playing Duress, and I for some reason sided in Expansion. So I just Expansion, Duress copied, and then I took one of their Teferis if I'm not wrong. So never forget that you can always copy things with this Expansion. That's going to be pretty much it for the deck. Before going into the games, I want to please remind you to subscribe, like, and comment. It means a lot to me and it helps the channel a lot. Thank you so much for your time, and with that, let's get into the games. Going into our first game of Golos Gates, we're playing against Demigod apparently, which is a Demi-Dio. This hand is a bit horrible because it doesn't have any access to green, so I think we're just going to mull that. This hand is a bit better. I don't think I want Scapeshift just yet, especially with how my hand is panning out. So I think we're just going to bottom that. And yes, Scapeshift is very good in this deck, but I think having enough lands to do things is more important. Escape to the Wilds is not something I want because I do not have access to red. We're trying to hit a red source or like a bunch of other sources. Kenrith is good. I mean, playing the Guildgate is bad because... Alright, so in this position, what I would have recommended you all to do is to play a land that does not directly show your opponent that you're playing Field of the Dead or Gates. Because, like, let's say I had a Breeding Pool or something that enters tab but is not a direct show off. You know, for example, at another temple, I would have recommended playing that temple because that temple ensures that your opponent does not know what you're doing. And that's always good to do in this kind of situation. Sadly, we cannot do anything. We cannot play even a Hydroid Krasis the chump block. Opponent is playing a Tamiyo. I don't know really what my opponent is playing. I'm not gonna lie to any of you. Alright, so opponent is playing Nexus apparently. I do not know that this version of Nexus plays a Lovestruck Beast. Do we go with the ramp route or do we go with the... Alright, yes, I think we go with the ramp route. And next turn we can just drop a Golos and try to take over the game that way. Let's just get as many gates as we can. We have a black source for Kenrith, so we should be fine. Next turn, Golos is gonna trigger all of our Fields of the Dead. We're going to probably search for a... We're most likely going to search for... what was it? Maze's End, yes, I'm sorry. Maze's End is going to be the thing we search for. Probably we're going to run out Golos search for... or maybe Kenrith just to kill... Alright, so if you top deck a land, we might just go with Kenrith just to kill that Tamiyo, because Tamiyo is not something we can easily deal with. Alright, so let's think about it clearly. Now we have 9 power on the field. We can attack Kenrith with Kenrith on Tamiyo. But that means that we're very vulnerable to anything our opponent might top deck, because that we're going to have to attack it with a bunch of things. So is that the best option? I don't think so, just because I don't want to die. Obviously not dying is something important in Magic. I think we can just give him one more Tamiyo activation safely, and we're just going to take this action and search for a land. We're going to search for a Gateway Plaza. We're not going with a Maze's End just yet. I want to keep my opponent concealed on information, especially since he's a bit ahead currently. And we can activate Golos next turn for sure. I should have noticed before going with this, but I think yes we can. Do we activate Golos or do we just try to kill Tamiyo? I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna give you my answer depending on what happens next turn. Alright, so it's a good thing that we did not attack, because attacking would have made it that we're dead. Literally, we would have been dead, because the opponent could have attacked us with Lovestruck Beast and his 2 other tokens, meaning that we're literally just dead. So it's super good that we did not attack. We're going to chump block with 3 tokens. I mean, I don't want to take more damage, especially if there's any pump that's gonna come anytime soon. And we can just kill off the Tamiyo, I think, next turn. Let's see. So I think the best route currently is just to play the Breeding Pool, obviously, because like it's a card in our hand and we have to play it. How many gates do we have currently? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gates, if I'm not wrong. Yes, we have 5 gates. Do we just play Golos, search for another gate? We don't have enough to play Kenrith if we do that. Do we just play Kenrith and then play... Alright, so Kenrith, attack. We can kill either Teferi or Tamiyo, if I'm not wrong. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Might just even play krasis for 1 just to make sure that everything is dead. Alright, so if you attack that way, Tamiyo is gonna take 4, 5, 6. And alright, I think if we do play our krasis for 1, we can make sure that the Teferi is dead. And I mean, yes, losing a bit of value is annoying, but I want to keep his board as clear as possible. And I think that's the best way of going for that route. Tamiyo is going to get attacked with a bunch of tokens. And with the last krasis we're going to attack is the Teferi. That's a very good thing for us to do because it keeps him down on resources quite a bit. Alright, so opponent's board is over, it's dealt with. He has a Lovestruck Beast he can get, but that's not the worst problem. You can just Scapeshift next turn. Or you can Scapeshift Golos, that's also an option. Get a bunch of zombies, just win that way. Nexus of Fate currently is not the worst because it's just a very expensive explore. I mean, alright, he attacked us for 2, it's fine. but he did not do anything that annoying. Alright, Teferi, put our Kenrith third from the top is annoying, I'm not gonna lie when it comes to that. But we can just kill the Teferi on the swing back, play the Golos. We're not in a bad spot. Unless like our opponent top decks a... our opponent's trying to kill us, which is something I need to be very careful about. Golos, can we play Golos and activate it? We sadly did not reach a point where we can do that mana-wise. I think we're just gonna run out Golos. Search for a Field of the Dead. Yes, of course I'm going to take action. Or do we just search for a Maze's End? I don't think I want to search for Maze's End. I think just having as many tokens as possible to not die to any potential threat is better. We're going to attack with krasis. We're going to attack the Fairy obviously with krasis. And I think the Elvish, let's see, so if you have to get the Scapeshift for the Maze's End finish, we need to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands, 7 lands, 8 actually, you can lose 8. We would have enough gates for next turn. I think we're gonna go with, just because the name of this video is Maze's End, I need to win with Maze's End. Alright, opponent's probably cringing at the fact that I'm losing my Fields of the Dead. But opponent, this deck is meant to win with Maze's End most of the time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have exactly enough to search for Maze's End and the other gates. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and with that we get into 6. Alright, so do we have enough gates to win next turn with Maze's End? We most definitely do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So assuming that our opponent doesn't kill us, we are good. Opponent just does not want to see this Golos, and we win game number 1. With that, let's sideboard quickly and go into number 2. Alright, so game number 3, we're also not going to sideboard anything because we have the Fae of Wishes in the main board. I'm going to spare you game number 2 because it was quite what Nexus does usually, which is just take a lot of turns, and I did make him play it out because he only had 1 card at that point, which is the Nexus he kept on top decking until at one point he top decked a Reclamation, was able to capitalize on his Ascanta, and that was enough for him to win the game. I mean, we can just still win this game, honestly. We can, it's not over. This hand is quite good because we have the Temple, the Island, and then a gate, and then we can make sure that we hit our Circuitous out on turn 4. Escape to the Wilds is also definitely good because after all of our ramp and all of that, we have something to replay. And I'm just gonna play Growth Spiral now just to make sure that we don't get hit with a potential dispute our opponent might play. And resolving Growth Spiral is something we care about a lot. So we're just gonna run out our Dimir Guildgate and just pass. Currently we have, next turn we're gonna have 5 gates on the field, meaning that Scapeshift, Maze's End might not be very far from now. Selesnya Guildgate. Do we go with the Hinterland Harbor, try to resolve Escape to the Wild? I don't think so. Just going to ramp as much as possible. If our opponent negates that, we're fine. Let's just get 2 gates. Any colors does not matter. We have a bunch of colors that I don't think we're gonna have mana issues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna have 8 mana next turn. Tamio is something that I'm going to try to kill, but we can't sadly. I can pressure it a bit with Kenrith. So do I go for that route? Do we have enough to get Field of the Dead and Kenrith? I think so. At least I choose to believe so. Please deck, yes. So we're just going to run out Kenrith, and watch out because Auto Tapper never wants you to have haste with Kenrith for some reason. Auto Tapper is probably a control player that doesn't like things having haste. So we're just going to run out our Kenrith, give our creatures haste, attack our opponent, and Escape to the Wilds. Or actually, if we untap with this board, I think it is possible for us to just win the game next turn, because we can Escape to the Wilds, kind of bait a counter spell. If it does resolve, we're good. If it doesn't, we just Scapeshift, use the mana from Kenrith to give all of our creatures haste, attack. That should be enough. So hopefully if our opponent doesn't board wipe, we should win the game next turn. If he does, we win the game maybe the turn after. Opponent does board wipe, sadly. We draw a krasis, which is good. So I'm going to try to set up the potential Scapeshift I win with the Maze's End turn. We have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gates. So our opponent is quite pressured currently, that's good. And we sadly do not draw a bunch of lands, but I think this should be enough. Opponent has blue, but that means he can't counter my things. Let's see, do we Scapeshift? I'm not going to Scapeshift using the Scapeshift in hand because I don't want to give him information about my hand. Currently, if we Scapeshift, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gates. We can get rid of, let's see how many. Okay, so let me count just one more. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gates. We can, and most definitely will probably, will play Scapeshift, get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4 lands, meaning that we would be just missing the maces. And do we go with that route, or do we try to set up for the turn after? That's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that. I think we're just going to try to set up for the turn after, or actually I think Maze's End says then you win the game, so I think we can set up Maze's End, so we're just going to try to set up Maze's End. We're going to lose any non-gate we have, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I'm not wrong, we win this game next turn if we survive with this board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to get a gate, Maze's End, another gate, and just any other gate in the deck, probably. Let's just see. I think we still have time with the timer, so timer is not the worst issue currently. And yeah, just on any other gate would do. So if I'm not wrong, Maze's End says search. Alright, and then if you have 10 gates on the field, you win the game. So opponent can Nexus as much as you want. If you untap next turn, we just win the game. Yes, opponent Nexus and Nexus again. As long as we untap with my board, we can hopefully win. Alright, so this might get him back into the game if he gets a Nexus with the Ascanta. Hopefully he won't. It's too early for him to loop Nexus. So opponent, did we just get the game? Did we win? Or are you going to lose because of the gate? Are you going to lose because of a gate, opponent? Alright, opponent, if you have a Nexus in hand, it's going to be quite annoying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, meaning he tapped out that he doesn't have that Nexus. Aether Gust is literally going to do nothing against us. I'm going to try to get the land, the gate now, because I'm not sure of how Maze's End works. I've never been in this kind of position. But I think we most definitely do win just by activating it. But honestly, I'm not sure. We're not going to put it on top because I want to Growth Spiral and try to hit a gate. That is being very optimistic. That's not a gate. I think we do win. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it says search your library. If you have 10 gates with different names, you win the game. So it should be enough to just win the game that way, if I'm not wrong. Alright, so we're gonna search. Let's just get our Gateway Plaza because we can't tap for it. And now we just win the game. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe. Like the video. If you want to join our Discord server, feel free to do so. I would love to have any of my fans with us on the channel. We now make Platinum Tier 3. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.